This is the mental health continuum. It's an easy way that we can all check in on ourselves, reflect on how we're doing, and if we're not doing so good, actions that we should be taking to look after ourselves. So we start off with considering, why are we reading this? Is it that because you've noticed a difference in how you're feeling? Is it that others have commented on a change in you? You know what we mean? Somebody saying, you're not your normal self. Are you or someone else worried about this? Or have you experienced something upsetting? That might be a relationship breakdown, loss of a job, money trouble, or illness. This is a guide that's going to help you to work out what you can do around it. Have a look at the diagram on the next page. Think of it like a set of traffic lights. When would you go and when would you stop? We all have mental health, like our physical health. So starting off with the green, this is you on a good day. Think about the normal you. If you know what you're like on a good day, you're more likely to notice when you start to move away from that. So it's the normal things like your sleep. How often do you sleep? How many hours do you sleep? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up normally? What's your appetite like? How often do you see your friends? And what's your energy levels like on a normal day? If you recognize this and understand it, you're better placed to understand if you start to move away from that, become not your normal. So the yellow is, I'm not feeling myself. It might be that others, as well as you, have noticed a change to your normal. The same way as if you might notice when you have a cold, the common cold, we've all had this before. And it's not just been one day, it's probably more like a couple of days, even a week. And it started to change the way that you recognize your normal. So changing your sleep, changing your appetite, changing those energy levels, changing your sociability, how often you want to see your friends. It might be that you're worrying more, irritable or snappy, and it might be that you're just feeling overwhelmed. Feeling like this is actually common, and you can do something to stop this from getting any worse and even move you back to the green. This is probably the closest that you'll get to a general set of symptoms around stress. What also happens is we have our unique indications of when we're stressed, but this is probably what we commonly share when we're stressed. It's important that we understand when we're feeling stressed and what we should do about this. So I'm going to tell you more about this on the next page. But just for now, let's stick with this. So what might happen if we don't address this stress? I'm not feeling myself. If this occurs and it occurs frequently or repeatedly, we can pose a risk to actually developing further complications with our mental health. We might find ourselves unwell. This is the way that I'm feeling, causing problems in different areas of my life. So this could be home life, work life, personal life, and also your physical health. And it's not just been going on for a couple of days. This is more likely been going on for a month or more. When I talked about yellow being having a cold, amber would probably be the equivalent of having a chest infection, more serious, and we notice it in a different way. So when we would take action around that, what would those actions be if you felt you had a chest infection? Just think about that. So what's this mean to our emotional health? It's about feeling sad, anxious or hopeless, and it's not going away. We could be falling out with loved ones because of the way that we're feeling. Generally finding it hard to do my normal day-to-day stuff. You might be experiencing a loss of appetite or overeating. You might be finding that you're using alcohol more or drugs more to help you to cope. Just generally having thoughts or feelings that I'm finding difficult to cope with. That's a position that you might find yourself in. The message here is that this is the equivalent of a chest infection. We need to get some further help around this, and we'll look at that on the next page. If we don't do anything about this, it might get worse. We might find ourselves in the red part, ill. How you're feeling is making it impossible to keep going. Where we said that the amber was like a chest infection, the red is probably the equivalent of doing nothing around that chest infection and suddenly finding yourself in the back of an ambulance, struggling to breathe with an oxygen mask on, hurtling towards A&E. This is serious. So emotionally, what does this mean? Finding it difficult to keep going. You might have even thought that actually life's not worth living. You might be having overwhelming feelings of sadness or anxiety that just don't go away. No enjoyment in life. Feeling helpless or hopeless that things are not going to change. That tiredness is there all the time. And you even might be thinking that I want to escape this, I don't want to be here. Generally, how you're feeling is absolutely flawed, yeah. This is serious. So let's have a look what we can do. If you have a look at this scale and you think, actually, I feel like I'm in the yellow or I feel like I'm in the amber, we need something to know about what we can do. So let's have a look. So things to do. If you identify as being in the green part, brilliant. Let's keep it like that. Continue to look after your physical health. Keep talking to the people that you trust. And if you've got a problem, don't keep it to yourself. It's the polar opposite of bottling things up. But make time to ensure that you do the things that give you pleasure, things that you enjoy. If you've identified as being in the yellow, it's not great when you feel like that. What can you do? If you had a cold, you would do stuff to make yourself feel better, wouldn't you? You can do something about this to stop it getting any worse and even get back into the green. Talk to someone about it. Deal directly with the problem. Because we're not an expert on everything, we might need to get some advice from someone who knows more than we do. Who can help? Is it a friend, an expert, a helpline? Make the effort to eat regularly, healthily, and get enough sleep. Look after your physical health. And also, again, take regular time to do something you enjoy, hobbies or interests, just to keep yourself engaged in that and remind yourself that there are things that you enjoy. Amber, actions to take. This was unwell. So if you had a chest infection, you know that a doctor could help you. You need to get help from someone who knows a bit more about this than you. Speak to your doctor. Show them where you are in here. Tell them how you're feeling, how this is affecting you. Use the NHS 111 to talk to someone. Talk to people that you trust about how you're feeling. And that could be family, friends, work, support groups. They will help you to find ways to cope. Follow any treatment plans that you've been given to support yourself. And it may be worth considering sharing those treatment plans with those that you trust. They can support you to follow those. Red, get some help. This was crisis situation. What would you do if you couldn't breathe? It's serious. We need to take action straight away. Make an urgent appointment to speak to your doctor. Show them where you are in here. Use the NHS 111 to talk to someone. If you don't feel like you can keep yourself safe, then use 999 or go to A&E.